Good morning, students. Today, in this lecture, we are going to discuss about 100% important multiple choice questions in Unit 2 and Unit 3. So, analysis of continuous time signals. Unit 3 is LTI for continuous time system. Okay. So, before enter into this objective type questions, so I must give the course content. In Unit 2, you have totally 4 topics only. First one is Fourier series. So Fourier series for periodic signals. Okay, you may expect some of the important topics under the Fourier series. That is a trigonometry Fourier series, a problem based on exponential Fourier series, problem based on then synthesis equations and analysis equations, right? Half wave rectifier, then pulse waveform, or you may find out they may asking about the Fourier coefficient. Find out the Fourier coefficient, right? So for that you must know about the synthesis and analysis equation for each type of Fourier series, right? Then when it comes to Fourier transform, here first of all you know about the definition of Fourier transform, then properties of Fourier transform. We have almost more than 12 properties are there available. So you just forget by heart all the 12 properties, statement as well as proof. Then only it will be easiest for you to answer any objective type questions asked under this topic. Similarly for Laplace transform also. Laplace transform and its properties. Okay, especially for focus on properties. Okay, in Laplace transform, based upon the properties, you may have so many questions, right? Especially initial theorem, final value theorem, Parseval's relations, right? Then even inverse Laplace transform also. So this is an interesting unit for you. Okay. Once you thorough all the unit and then you just try to attempt all the MCQ type questions. What are all the questions I will given? You just try it. Next, unit 3, LTI for continuous time system. Okay, so it is similar to our fifth unit, but in fifth unit we have discrete time system, but here LTI for continuous time system. So this is the difference between unit 3 and unit 5. Okay, so here also impulse response. We focus the topic under the impulse response, convolution integral. So in convolution integral, convolution sum based problems, right? For example, if you use the tabulation linear convolution problems or graphical method, okay, or any by using the definition, that is convolution integral definition, right? Then you move on to difference equation. Any difference equation will be given. From the difference equation, you find out the impulse response or force response or natural response or total response. Okay. Once you know the basic concept, it will be more easy for you to face the signals and system questions. Okay. Not only for a university exam, your GATE syllabus also. Our signal system will plays a major role. Okay. So now onwards you starts to prepare for GATE also, right? Then third topic will be Fourier and Laplace transform in analysis for CT system. Okay, for analysis of CT system. CT means continuous time system. So here definitely the notation will be in times of t, that is x of t, like that. Okay. So here you are applying the Fourier transform as well as Laplace transform, x of e power j omega as well as x of s domain, right? So last topic, that is system connected in series and parallel, that is a realization structure. Okay, for design the continuous time system. Okay, LTI system, system connected in series and parallel. Inside you have to study for all the 4 forms, that is that from 1, 2, then cascade and parallel. Okay, this is the course content in your unit 2 and unit 3. Okay, let's enter into our MCQ type questions. So first, series RC circuit. Series RC circuit, that is resistance and capacitance. These two components are connected in series. Okay, excited by voltage V. So is dash. Okay. Option A, memoryless system. Option B, causal system. Option C, dynamic system. Option D, static system. Anyone? So here it acted with the resistance, then capacitance. It will be excited by the voltage V. Okay. This is your circuit diagram. Now you may say it is memoryless system, causal system, dynamic system, or static system. Anyone? Anyone unmute your mic and tell me the answer? Answer C. Dynamic system. Right. I'll give you the explanation for this one. Right. Why I am saying it is dynamic system means, see, dynamic systems are those systems which consist of memory. First of all, you should know about the memory, whether it having the memory or not. Okay. Static means it doesn't have the memory. Dynamic means it have the memory. Okay. So in series RC circuit, it is excited by the voltage V. The capacitor C. So here the capacitor C will be connected here. So you all know that the function of the capacitor, isn't it? So function of the capacitor is that it will be the energy storage element, right? So which can act as the memory of the circuit. Okay, so memory of the circuit. So therefore, since the system has memory, it is not memoryless system. Okay, but also a causal system, it depends only on the past value as well as present value. That is causal system. But future value of the charge is also under the consideration in this type of circuit. Okay, so in this circuit, it depends upon future value also. So the given system is not causal. Okay, since the charge moves about in the circuit due to applied voltage V. So based upon applying the voltage V, the charge will be moving through the circuit, right? So hence the system is not static system also. Therefore, the given system is dynamic. I will say give you the explanation about why I am not the circuit is not comes under the memoryless, why the circuits are not comes under the causal, why the circuits are not comes under the static. Okay, because in your circuit it can have the capacitor. So capacitor is the storage element. So definitely our RC circuit it will be having memory system. Okay, so memoryless system is wrong one. Okay, it's not satisfied this condition. Second thing is here the our circuit capacitor storage element. So it is depend upon present, past as well as future also, because it is storage element. So it is depend upon future also. So it is non-causal system. So, but here the answer is causal, so it is also wrong one. Okay. Next thing is already I said it is a non-causal system. It is depend upon future value also. So it means the static system is also not coming here because it is memory system. It is not memoryless. So static system is also wrong one. So among these four options, which one is correct means definitely C is the correct. That is the dynamic system is the correct. Okay. So any RC circuit, it is excited by the voltage V. Okay, because based upon this voltage only, the charge will be moving from through this entire circuit. Okay, whatever the voltage you are applying through this circuit, our circuit, the charge will be moving across the circuit. So definitely, it is not static system. It will be varying only. Okay, for 0 voltage, 1 volt, 2 volt, 3 volt, like this, you are going to varying your voltage here. So it is not comes under the static because it is comes under dynamic only. Okay, so this is a gate question. So note down the answer. The series RC circuit, it is excited by the voltage V is dynamic system. Okay, am I clear this question? Right. So next we move on to next question. From the given condition, what are the Dirichlet's condition? Okay, so Dirichlet's condition. First question. X of t should be absolutely integrable. That is first one. Okay, this is question based on the Fourier series, right? Dirichlet's condition. Very, very important question. Dirichlet's condition. X of t should be absolutely integrable. X of t should be finite discontinuities. X of t should have finite number of maxima as well as minima. Okay. From the given condition, what are the Dirichlet's condition? So in your problem, the three conditions will be given. Okay. Now you are going to find out which one are Dirichlet's condition. Okay. So almost you have the 4 digits condition, 4 to 6 digits condition only. Okay, it is easy for to identify this answer, right? Anyone just answer this question? Option A 1, 2, 3. That is all the options conditions are satisfied digits condition. Option B only 1 and 2. Option C 1 and 3 condition. Option D 2 and 3 condition. So which one will be correct? Students, just type. No one? Okay, fine. So answer A, that is 1, 2, 3. Okay. While seeing this question itself, you are able to answer this question because all these conditions are comes under the Dirichlet's only. So Dirichlet's condition, x of t value should be absolutely integral. Yeah, it is true condition. It has the finite discontinuities. It is also true. X of t should have finite number of maxima as well as minima. So okay, this is also true cases only. So, okay, so 1, 2, 3, all the conditions are true. So answer A is the correct one. Next, third one, the element which can have a weakened signal, weaken a signal system is dash. Okay, the element which can weaken your signals, so it will reduce your strength of the signals. Okay, so what is that element? Well, A is attenuation, B is distortion, C is noise, and D is attenuation, distortion, and noise. All the three. Which one is correct? So which element it will tends to weaken your signal? Which element? Anyone? Okay, fine. Option D, all the three elements, attenuation, distortion, noise, all the three elements which can weaken your signals. Okay, this is a interview questions, right? So which elements it can weaken your signal? It means attenuation. Attenuation once across your system, definitely it will reduce your strength of the signal. Okay, distortion also. So noise signal also. So attenuation, distortion, noise. All the three are correct only, right? We know that distortion in the alteration of the original shape. Okay, that is distortion. Distortion means what? This actual shape will be altered into irregular shape. Okay, so distortion in the alteration of original shape. That is distortion. Attenuation means reduction of signal strength. That is attenuation. Anyone asking about the what is attenuation means? You said attenuation is nothing but reduction of signal strength. Okay, noise is unwanted output of the signal. Okay, so unwanted one, that is noise. Noise is the unwanted output of the signal or output of the system. Okay, so once I repeat, distortion is nothing but alteration of your original shape. Attenuation is reduction of the signal strength, that is attenuation. Noise is unwanted output of the system. So attenuation, distortion, noise, all are can impair your signals, right? So next question, what is Fourier series? Fourier series, option A, representation of periodic signals in mathematical manner is called Fourier series. Option B, the representation of non-periodic signal in a mathematical manner is called a Fourier series. The option C, representation of non-periodic signal in terms of complex exponential or sinusoidal is called Fourier series. Option D, the representation of periodic signal in terms of complex exponential or sinusoidal is called Fourier series. Okay, so this is the definition of Fourier series. Okay, so based upon the definition, this question will be asking. Okay, anyone? Definition of Fourier series, which one? Actually, Fourier series it can be represented in mathematical manner only. Okay, no problem. Next, it is periodic or non-periodic. Your representation may be. You find out this. This is true for you. Anyone? Definition of Fourier series. Okay, fine. Let us see the answer. The Fourier series is a representation of non-periodic signal. okay, in terms of complex exponential, or equivalently in terms of sine waveform and cosine waveform, it leads to the Fourier series. Okay. In other words, we can say Fourier series is a mathematical tool. This is a general definition. Fourier series is a mathematical tool that allows the representation of any periodic wave as a sum of harmonically related sinusoids. As a sum of harmonically related sinusoid. Fourier series is the mathematical tool that allows representation of any periodic wave as a sum of harmonically related to sinusoid. So option D, that is the representation of periodic signal in terms of complex exponential or sinusoidal, is called Fourier series. Okay, so periodic signal. Next question, what are the conditions called which are required for a signal to fulfill, to be represented as dash Fourier series? Okay, so what condition? Dirichlet's condition, Gibbs phenomena, Fourier's condition, and Fourier phenomena. Okay, so without this condition, your Fourier series signals are not yet fulfilled. So what is that condition? Option A, of course, Dirichlet's condition. Very good. So without Dirichlet's condition, our Fourier series signals are not yet fulfilled. Okay, when Dirichlet's conditions are satisfied only for the signal, the Fourier series will be exist. Okay, so Fourier series generally two types. One is trigonometric Fourier series, and another one is exponential Fourier series. Okay, so based upon the question, all these questions are above questions are comes under the Fourier series. Okay, if you want to answer these three questions, you must know about the definition of Fourier series, types of Fourier series, then Dirichlet's condition for Fourier series. Okay, once you know this content about the Fourier series, you can easily able to answer this question. Right? So likewise, your preparation will be going like that. Okay, take any topic and go through the all the formulae, definition, and concept. Okay. Then next question: what are the two types of Fourier series? Yeah, trigonometric or exponential, trigonometric and logarithmic, exponential and logarithmic, then trigonometric only. Okay. Now tell me the answer. Yeah, before that only say no.
Option
Yeah, now
A,
only
sir.
option A. Very good. Who said this? Invert. Very good. Now only one students will be coming to active mode. Thank you. So option A, trigonometric and exponential. Very good. So first option is correct one. Okay. The two types of Fourier series are trigonometric Fourier series and exponential Fourier series. But among the Fourier series, exponential is more convenient for Fourier series calculation. Okay. If anyone asking this question also, right? Among the two types, which type it will be more convenient for to calculate the Fourier series problem is exponential Fourier series. Okay. So already I said Fourier series is used for to represent any periodic wave. Okay, a sum of harmonically related sinusoid. Right. It means it consists of both sine waveform as well as cosine waveform. These two waveform only to lead your Fourier series. First point. Okay, sine waveform and cosine waveform. These two waveform is only the lead your Fourier series. Right. At the same time, Fourier series is used for to represent any periodic wave. Right. So it's mostly related to some of the harmonic related sinusoidal function. Right. That is A naught plus B, A naught plus summation cos term plus summation Bn sin term. Okay. This is your expression for Fourier series. No. So based upon the expression, mathematical representation, you can able to frame your definition of Fourier series. Next thing is with the help of this Dirichlet's condition only, your Fourier series will fulfill. Right. So Dirichlet's condition. Next thing is the types of Fourier series is trigonometric and exponential. Okay, am I clear? So next we move on to next question. What are the Fourier coefficient? Right, this is very good. What are the Fourier coefficient in the following? So A naught, An, and Bn. Next option B is An. Option C is Bn. Option D is An and Bn. So all these n's you just put it down at a suffix. Okay. So here there will be mistake, but you have to put it in suffix order. A, suffix 0. Okay, b suffix n, like that. Yeah, now you tell me this answer. What are the Fourier coefficient?
Option
Just now I
A,
said
sir.
no. Yeah,
Option A,
A.
sir.
Yeah, very good. Option A is the very good, ma. Option A is the right one because A naught plus summation an cos term plus summation bn sin term. This is your mathematical representation of Fourier series, isn't it? So the coefficients are A naught, an, bn. These three one will be Fourier coefficient. Sometimes here k also represented. If k is also put it down, you just pick the answer. No problem. Okay. So A naught, an, bn, all the three are comes under the Fourier series coefficient. Very good. Okay. Okay. Here see the explanation. These are the Fourier coefficient in trigonometric Fourier series. Yeah. A naught, an, bn is all these coefficients are comes under trigonometric only. Not it will become under exponential. Okay. So it will be found in the trigonometric only. So a naught formula, an formula, bn formula will be given. Right. Okay. Next, what is the disadvantages of exponential Fourier series? Okay, already I told you exponential Fourier series only it will helpful for to mostly we can be used for to mathematical calculation, isn't it? But even though they are having some disadvantage, what is it? It is tough to calculate. It is not easily visualized. It cannot be easily visualized as sinusoid. Option D is it is hard for manipulation. Okay, which part it will be very disadvantage for exponential Fourier series. It is tough to calculate. It is not easily visualized. It cannot be easily visualized as a sinusoid. It is hard for manipulation. Okay, anyone try for this question? This is actually a disadvantage of exponential Fourier series. Okay, anyone? Option C. Okay, it cannot be easily visualized as sinusoid. That is a major disadvantage of exponential Fourier series. Okay, because it cannot be easily visualized as sinusoidal because moreover it is easy to calculate. It is easy to manipulate. Okay, but it cannot be easily visualized as sinusoidal. So that is the main drawbacks of exponential Fourier series. Okay, sinusoidal signal because exponential Fourier series is calculation for exponential signal, not sinusoidal signal, sine signal. So this is the drawback for disadvantage of exponential Fourier series. Okay, even though it can have easy to calculate, hard for manipulate, but visualized. But it cannot be actual answer is it cannot be easily visualized as sinusoidal waveform. Next, ninth question. Fourier series uses which domain representation of signal? Okay. So option A time domain, option B frequency domain, option C both combined, option D neither depends on the situation. Okay, which one is right? Fourier series uses
Option B, sir.
option B
Option B.
frequency. Yeah, let us check the answer. Option B, very good. Frequency domain representation. Who said this answer?
Chandika, sir.
Chandika. Very good, Chandika. Here, Fourier series it uses frequency domain representation of signal. Okay, so formula will be x of t, which is equal to 1 by t summation x of n e to the power of j omega n t. Okay, here x of t is a signal and x of n is 1 by t integral of x of t e to the power of minus j omega t into n. Okay, this is the definition of to find out x of t as well as x of n. Okay, so generally Fourier series is used for to represent it in frequency domain, not in time domain. Okay, so frequency domain representation is the correct one. This is also mostly asked in interview type question only. Okay, right. So next question: how does Fourier series it makes it easier to represent periodic signal? How does Fourier series it make it as easier to represent periodic signals? Option A harmonically related, option B periodically related, option C sinusoidally related, option D exponentially related. Okay, so this
Option
is
A,
Harmonic.
option
Yes, sir.
Option A, sir.
A. Option A, all of you correct. Option A. Okay, it is mostly typical question for you, because all the answers are most probably it is related to your Fourier series only, isn't it? Harmonic related, periodically related, sinusoidal related, exponential related. So all the answer will be mostly it is related to your Fourier series topic only. Okay, but it will be little bit confusing you. Okay, let us check the answer. Option A, harmonic related. Very good, because it is easy to represent periodic signal. First one, as its mathematical tool, it allows the representation of any periodic signal, sum of the harmonic related sinusoid. So only based upon this definition only, you can able to give this answer, right? So harmonically related is the correct one. Very good one. So next question, the length of the two discrete time signal x1 and x2 are 5 and 7 respectively. The maximum length of the signal x1 of n star x2 of n, that is convolution operation, okay, is dash. Option A 5, option B 6, option C 7, option D 11. In previous lecture, I will give you the x1 and x2 of n sequence. From this, you find out the convolution sum. But here, I'll give only the length, not that giving the sequence. I just give the length, right? And also, the question will be asking for find out the maximum length only, right? Yeah, anyone know this answer? x1 of n star x2 of n, maximum length of x1 of n, convolution with the x2 of n is dash. Okay,
Yes,
it is
sir.
simple for you. Option
Sir, option D.
D 11. Anyone say justify this answer? How do you say this is 11? Okay, see, x1 of n is 5, length for x2 of n is 7. Okay, let us take this is L, this is M. So L equal to 5, M equal to 7, right? x1 of n, length for this part is n. Let us take n, capital N. Okay, so how to find out the maximum length for n is n, which is equal to L plus M minus 1. This is the formula for to find out the maximum length, right, in convolution. So here L, which is equal to 5 plus M is 7, then minus 1. So 5 plus 7, 12, 12 minus 1, 11. Okay, so your answer became 11. Is it correct? Right? So you just note it on this formula, right? So 11 is the correct one. Very good attempt. Okay. So next part, yeah, option D is the correct one. Next, find the Fourier transform e to the, yeah, up to this all the questions are based upon Fourier series. Next we move on to next topic, that is Fourier transform, right? So find the Fourier transform e to the power of j omega naught t. Okay, this is a actually it is a 2 mark question for you, but here it comes another 1 mark, right? Find the Fourier transform of e power j omega naught t. So option A del of omega plus omega naught, option B 2 pi del of omega plus omega naught, option C del of omega minus omega naught, option D 2 pi del of omega minus omega naught. Okay, so once you know this definition, that is formula, you can easily able to answer this question. Okay, no need to derive the problem. Okay, so Fourier transform e power j omega naught t, which is equal to what? So once you know this formula, you can easily able to answer. Or else you apply in the Fourier transform definition, then substitute this e power j omega is there, and then you simplify the equation, and then finally you find out this answer. So it will take some time. Okay, for that only I will repeatedly say to you, okay, any properties or any definition or any formula is there means you just put it on box and memory it. Okay, then only it is easy for us to answer the 1 mark question, especially in SS, right? You mug up all the everything formulas thing, right? E to the power of j omega naught t. So let us take the answer. Option D, that is 2 pi del of omega minus omega naught is the correct answer. Okay, how do I say this is correct answer? Mix, because it is comes under the properties, based upon the properties. Okay, Fourier transform properties. You know that the properties. Okay, let us check this property. Frequency shifting property. Okay, when I take the frequency shifting property of Fourier transform, there you know this formula. Okay, only the notation will be changing here. Okay, but the concept is same only. Here e to the power of j omega naught t will be given. When you take the Fourier transform of this one, it gives the answer is 2 pi times del of omega minus omega naught. Okay, frequency shifting. E to the power of j omega t x of t, which tends to x of omega minus omega naught. So omega minus omega naught will be coming here. Okay, when you take the Fourier transform of this one, it becomes 2 pi times. That is, okay, 2 pi of del of omega minus omega naught. So option D is the correct answer. Right? Next question. Find the inverse Fourier transform of f of t equal to what? Inverse Fourier transform. Option A u of t, option B del of t, option C e to the power of minus t, option D 1 power e j omega. F of t, inverse Fourier transform. Okay, f of t which is equal to 1 is del of t, impulse function only. Okay, Laplace transform, you take the inverse Laplace transform is also become del of n only, right? So del of t is the correct answer. See, we know that Fourier transform of f of t equal to 1. Just a side note, f of t equal to 1. So f of omega which is equal to 2 pi del omega. Now you just replace this omega with t, right? So now f of t equal to 2 pi del t. So as per duality property, here also it based upon the property only. Okay, previous also property, here also property. Okay, so without knowing the property definition, definitely you can't able to give the answer for this question, right? So as per duality property, f of t tends to 2 pi f of minus omega. So it means 2 pi del of t, which tends to 2 pi of 1. So f of t tends to 2 pi cancel. So del of t which is equal to 1. So hence inverse Fourier transform for 1 is del of t. Okay, when you take the inverse transform of 1 is del of t, Fourier transform of del of t is 1. Okay, Fourier transform of del of t is 1. Inverse Fourier transform of 1 is del of t. Okay, vice versa. Next thing is, what is the area of the unit impulse function? Now, area, you find out the area. Option A 0, half of the unity. Option C depends on function. Option D unity. So you know that impulse function. Okay, so
Option
impulse
B,
function
sir.
is like this only. Yeah, unity. Right. Let us check the answer. Who said this one? Very good, ma. Option D is the correct one because the area under the impulse function is unity. Because there is no pulse for the impulse function. Okay, so there is no width or there is no area to find out the impulse function because there is no pulse waveform. Okay, the signal is which is found only at 0. Okay, n equal to 0 or t equal to 0. Right. So the amplitude level is also infinite. It tends to infinite. Right. So it is defined between the limits negative infinite to positive infinite. Right. So area is 1 only. Next thing is, what the singularity function? Singularity function. Okay. Option A, derivative and integral of unit impulse function. Derivative of unit impulse function, integral of an impulse function. Then option D is sum of the successive impulse function. Okay, this is another name. Already we discussed the topic, but singularity function is the other name for that function. Okay, so which functions are we called it a singularity function? So let us say option A, derivative is and integral of unit impulse function. Okay, derivative of impulse function, integral of the impulse function. That is the correct one. Okay, because here all the function will be derived from impulse function only. Okay, impulse means derivative means successive derivatives and the successive integral, both the differentiation and the integral part. Right. So these two parts we call it as singularity. Okay. So impulse function is taken as a generalized function than an ordinary function. So for this question, derivatives and integral of unit impulse function is the correct one. Okay. So note it down. Derivatives and integral of the unit impulse functions are, we call it as singularity function. Okay. So next question. What is doublet function? Previous one is singularity. Now doublet function. Double. Okay. Singularity means successive derivatives and integral. Both are singularity. Doublet means option A, branch of impulse. Option B, the output of impulse. Option C, the first derivative of the impulse function. Option D, any continuous time impulse function has
Option
another
C,
name
sir.
that is doublet. Option C. Any other answer, students? Okay, let's check the answer. Option C, the first derivative of the impulse function, we call it as doublet function. Very good, mark. So the first order derivatives, first derivatives, that is dou dash of dou t, that is nothing but first order derivatives, is it? So it is referred as doublet function. Okay, so dou by dou t, dou dash by dou t, right? That is dou function of dou t by dou t. That is we call it as dou dash of t, one times differentiation. So that is we call it as doublet function. Okay, so the derivative of all orders of impulse functions are singularity function. Okay, but here it is defined as which is equal to 0, right? So doublet function means the first derivative of the impulse function. Okay, once I repeat, singularity means derivatives and integral of unit impulse function. Doublet means the first derivative of the impulse function. Okay, these two questions also mostly asked in the gate examination. Okay, you just by heart this answer. Singularities means derivatives and integral of unit impulse. Doublet means first derivative of the impulse function. Okay, next question. This is unit 1 topic. Okay, the system y of t which is equal to x cube of t, that is x to the power of 3 times t, is dash. Stable without input x of t, stable with output y of t, stable with both input x of t as well as output y of t, not stable. Okay, so this is comes under the stable and unstable system. Okay, y of t equal to x cube of t will be given. Now you are going to find out these cases. Stable with input x of t, stable with output y of t, stable with both input x of t as well as output y of t, not stable. So how do you find out the stable? If it obey the Vibov concept, isn't it? Bounded input and bounded output. Once it satisfies this condition, we call it as stable, or else unstable. Okay. Just I'm getting late. So okay, I will check the answer. Option C is the correct one. Stable with both input x of t as well as output. Okay, that is the bounded input, bounded output. That is Vibov. Once it satisfies this condition, we got it as stable. Right. Let us take this answer. X of t equal to u of t. Right. Let us take like this. Okay, because x of t equal to u of t, I will take like this. Because u of t is unit impulse, it is bounded input. Okay. For that, I will choose u of t parameter. So I substitute here y of t equal to instead of x of t, I substitute here u of t. So u cube of t. U cube of t is also called as u of t only. Okay, because the unit step now. So whatever you take the square root value, it will be giving the same answer only. So because 1 power cube 1, 1 power 5 1. That's all. Okay. So that is bounded output. So input is also bounded, output is also bounded. So the bounded input, it will produce the bounded output. So hence the system is stable with both input x of t as well as output y of t. So option C is the correct one. Okay. I hope next question will be easier for you, right? The spectral density of white noise is dash. Which one we call it is white noise? Okay. So I said this question in while lecture video, right? The spectral density of white noise is dash. Option A exponential, option B uniform, option C Poisson, option D Gaussian. So which is then spectral density of white noise is dash? Let us check the answer. Option B. So that is uniform noise. Okay. The spectral density of uniform white noise is uniform. Spectral density of white noise is uniform. Okay, because the distribution of white noise is homogeneous overall all frequency. Okay. Power spectrum in the Fourier transform of the autocorrelation function. Therefore, the power spectral density of white noise is uniform. Okay. So the distribution of white noise is homogeneous overall frequency. Power spectrum is the Fourier transform of autocorrelation. Fourier transform of autocorrelation is we call it which will give the power spectrum. Okay. So power spectral density, that is PSD, of white noise is always uniform. So uniform is the correct one. So next question, for a stable system, which of the following is correct? Stable one. So mod is it less than 1, mod is it equal to 1, modulus of z greater than 1, modulus of z not equal to 1. So it means Stable system is bounded input, bounded output. So within the limit, right? So less than 1 will be the correct one. Okay, option A is the correct one. Okay, because the ROC should include the unit circle. It includes the unit circle also. See, mod is equal to 1 means it represents unit circle but does not include it. Okay, mod is equal to means it represents a unit circle but does not include it. Mod is greater than 1 means the region outside the unit circle. It comes under the outside the unit circle. Okay, it means not it include, it may be exclude the unit region of unit circle. Okay, so the portion will be comes under the outside of the unit circle. So option C is also a wrong one. Option D, let us take the option D. So option D is it does not represent any unit circle because it is not equal to 1. So it doesn't represent the unit circle. Okay, so option A is the correct one. Okay, this question is based upon this diagram, right? So draw the one unit circle here. This is unit circle. Okay, so real part of Z, real part of Z, imaginary part of Z. Excess imaginary part of Z. Okay, so mod is it less than 1. Mod is it less than 1. Okay, so shaded region will be like this. Okay, it include the unit circle also, right? Mod is it equal to 1. So mod is it equal to means like this. Okay, it represents the unit circle but it does not include it. Okay, mod is it greater than 1. So it means the portion will be like this. The shaded region will be outside part of the unit circle. So this is also wrong one. Okay, mod is it not equal to 1 means definitely doesn't represent any unit circle. Not equal to 1. It means any it doesn't represent any unit circle. Okay, so which one is correct? Option A is the correct one. Am I clear? So for stable system, which of the following is correct? Means mod is that less than 1 is the correct one. Right. So next part. One of the type of signal is impulse type. One of the type of signal is an impulse type. The type of discontinuity in an impulse train is dash. The type of discontinuity in an impulse train is dash. Infinite, option B 0, option C 1, option D finite. Okay, so one of the type of signal is impulse train. The type of discontinuity in impulse train is dash. Okay, so infinite only. That is also infinite, right? Because from an impulse train waveform, we can infer that it is a kind of signal having infinite discontinuities. Okay, that is we call it as impulse. Okay, we can infer that it is kind of signal having infinite discontinuities. Okay, that is, see, this is we call it as spine of pulse. Okay, like this it is going up, right? So impulse trains, impulses there is no pulse, isn't it? So it means it can have the infinite, right? So we can infer that the kind of signal having the infinite discontinuities. So that is what infinite discontinuities is, nothing but the type of discontinuities of the impulse train. Okay. So next question, find the value of h1 of n, h of n star d of n minus 1. D of n minus 1. D of n is the being delta function. D of n is nothing but delta function. That is del of n. Okay, I represent here D of n. Right. H of n star D of n minus 1. So option C, H of n minus 1 will be the answer. H of n star D of n minus 1, which is equal to H of n minus 1. When you multiply with a delay sequence, it becomes the delayed representation only. Right. So convolution of a function, which is the delta function, it shift accordingly. Okay, delta function is shift accordingly. Okay, here shifting is n minus 1. So like this, your impulse function also get shifted. So h of n star del of n, d of n minus 1 means h of n minus 1. D of n minus 2 also it produces h of n minus 2. If suppose here we having d of n minus 3 means it will produce h of n minus 3. So based upon this shifting function, your frequencies also get shifted, right? So that is your impulse function is also get shifted. Here h of n star d of n minus 1. So it will become h of n minus 1, right? So next question, a continuous time LTI system has the memory only. A continuous time LTI system has memory only. When dash. Option A, it does not depends on the present value of input. Okay, it does not depend on present value of the input. Option B, it only depends on past value of the input. Option C, its output always depends both on previous as well as past value of input. Option D, its output might depend on the present value as well as previous value of the input. So condition for this one, when the continuous time LTS system has memory. Okay, this is also based upon the first unit only, right? LTS system has memory system. When the system is said to be memory, having the memory. So option D, its output might depends on present value as well as previous value of the input. Okay, so I will give the explanation. An LTS system is said to have memory, but its output at any time it depends on the previous value of the input. This does not mean its value does not depend on present value. It depends on the past as well as present value according to the situation. Okay, not only it is depend upon present value, according to the situation, it is depend upon present value as well as past value also. Okay, so the output it might depends on present value as well as previous value. Okay, option D is the correct one. Then only our system is said to be memory system. Okay, otherwise it is said to be memoryless system. Right. So next question, which property of LTS system does the following equation? You just prove this one. H of n star h1 of n equal to del of n. Okay, dou of n. So h of n star h1 of n equal to dou of n. So which property it will be proved? So invertibility property, stability property, associative property, and commutative property. Okay. Option A, it is invertibility property because this equation h1 of n, okay, it must satisfy the impulse response of the inverse system. Okay, in case of discrete LTI system. So it gives the necessary condition for invertibility property of LTI system. So this property satisfies invertibility property. H of n star h1 of n, which is equal to, okay, dou of n. So previous thing is h of n star dou of n minus 1 is which is equal to h of n minus 1. So but here d of n. Okay, so inverse operation. So invertibility, right? So next question is when our LTI system was stable. When it is stable, only when bounded input it produce the bounded input. Yeah, option A is the correct one. Only when bounded input it produces unbounded. Yeah, option B wrong one. Option C, when unbounded input produce the bounded input, that is also wrong. Option D, unbounded input produce unbounded input. That's also wrong because when the system is said to be stable, BIBO, bounded input, bounded input. So option A is the correct one. This is also mostly repeatedly asking the gate question only, right? So last question, convolution is used to find dash. Interview question. Okay, convolution is used to find dash. Impulse of an LTS system is used to find frequency response of an LTS system, used to find time response of an LTS system, used to find phase response of an LTS system. Which one is correct? Okay, convolution is used to find dash. Anyone? Anyone? Last question. Deepak? Students? Yeah, convolution is used to find option C, right? That is time response of an LTI system. Time response of an LTI system, right? So because you know that definition of conversion formula, that is y of n, which is equal to summation x of k h of n minus k. So here the formula will be like this: y of n, which is equal to summation, inside the summation write down x of k h of n minus k. This is the definition of convolution, isn't it? So here k tends to minus infinite to plus infinite. So this is the definition of convolution. Okay. So here when it rewritten as, so this definition can be rewritten as y of n, which is equal to in terms of time domain. I write down like this: of n star h of n. So you may write down like this also. Okay, so x of n star h of n. So convolution of two systems. So therefore convolution is used to find out the time response of the LTI system. That is the correct one. Time response of the LTI system. Right. So within this I conclude my topic. So thank you, students.